What's going on, anyone who cares? I go by Free Tony, and welcome to Volways, where we always talk volunteers baseball. And by we, I mean me. Welcome to the very first episode of Volways and the beginning of the 2023 college baseball season. I am Free Tony, and if you're wondering why I go by Free Tony, that's a story for another day. If you know, you already know, baby. All right, so today's episode is going to consist of 5 talking points, basically. One of them is going to be our fan expectations for this season, especially after last year. Then we're going to be talking about some things we might have questions for or questions on going into this season. And then I'll talk about my record predictions for this year, what I think might happen, where we might trip up, in my opinion. And then we're just going to look through the schedule a little bit and talk about some big series that we have coming up and look at another one that also, or another round robin tournament, basically, that is going on this weekend in Texas. And at the very end, I have a little question for you, but you got to stick around to find out what it is. So the first point I'd like to talk about in this video is going to be our fan base expectations. Okay, I know our fan base, Vol Nation, is so passionate about their sports. I think we're the best fan base in the country, hands down. Everybody's going to argue their side, but I biased. Call me biased. Oh well, I don't really care. But our fan base is also extremely, I'll say, critical of our program at times. Not just baseball, but everything. I mean, we want to win. A lot of people are used to winning growing up. I don't have too many years on this body, but I've definitely endured the heartbreak of a lot of football seasons and not too great of baseball seasons either. Definitely a lot of weeks in the past where I just did not watch. But I will say Coach Tony Vitello has done an amazing job since he's been here. Everybody says it. I mean, it's obvious, but he just continues to grow this program and build it into a juggernaut. I mean, the SEC is already tough, but he has just come in and taken this team and this program by storm and just taken off. But as far as our expectations this year, Vol Nation, we cannot expect last year to repeat this year. If I'm completely honest, I don't know if I want it to happen again because that was so much pressure. I mean, nobody saw it coming. I've never seen a college baseball season like that in my lifetime. I know a lot of other people haven't either. I mean, it was just incredible baseball to watch, and it also made a lot of people hate us. A lot of people hate us. So coming into this season, I mean, everybody's gunning for us. For the preseason number 2, I believe we're ranked a little high for losing as many players as we did to the draft last year. And although Tony Vitello did great in the transfer portal, we still had that huge target on our back. I mean, LSU, we'll talk about LSU a little bit later, but man, that's going to be a series later on in the year. But expectations for this year, guys, we expect to win. But when we lose, we can't expect the season to be over. We can't expect the wheels to be falling off. Everything will be just fine. I mean, we can't expect last year to happen again. That's just the bottom line. So the question marks for this year, I think, are a little bit like last year. The catching position was definitely a question mark last year, definitely for me. And I think it showed. Evan didn't do a bad job last year. I think he did a great job, honestly, for being his first year back there, catching our guys like Ben Joyce, Chase Burns, Chase Dolander, Blade Tidwell. I mean, We had probably the best bullpen in the country, and I don't think it's even close. And we could potentially have the exact same scenario this year, but we're gonna find out pretty early in the season. But other than the catching position, I would say our health. Can we stay healthy? Jared Dickey, great athlete. I would love to see him on the field, but I want to see him stay on the field. He's got a lot of production for us. He can produce a lot. He can play anywhere, but if he's hurt, he can't be out there. That's just it. We gotta stay healthy. And the next point or the next concern I have, I'll call it for this year is the fact that we had to replace so many players, and I know Coach Vitello has created a culture there where everybody competes, everybody is pushing one another, but we have a lot of guys that transferred in from a lot of different places, different cultures at those programs, but we still have great players. And my only concern is how are they going to gel with one another, basically. And then I'm worried that our fan base is going to get on them too much, like way more than we should if they're not producing right off the bat. I mean, some of them, most of them, are not coming from SEC competition. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter. The SEC is at a whole nother level compared to every other conference. It's just different. But I'm more worried that our fan base is gonna get on the transfers more than they should if they don't produce in the beginning. And I think that's about it for my concerns. I mean, our pitching is going to be there. Our with the transfers that we have coming in on paper, I believe our defense is going to be there. It's really just we got to produce at the right times. I mean, I would love a repeat of last year, but I don't want a repeat of last year, if you know what I mean. So with those concerns laid out, we'll move on to my season prediction, what I believe is going to happen. So I know I said we should not have extremely high expectations, right? With that said, I still expect to win a lot. We have a lot of talent coming back. We have a lot of talent coming in. Coach Vitello is a great head coach. He knows how to motivate his guys and get the best out of them. But I think once we hit SEC play, I think that's where we'll trip up the most, obviously, because I'll get into it a little bit later, but we have a stretch where, oh my gosh, it's incredible, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But looking down the list here, I mean, we look good in the beginning. So this weekend we open up in Arizona for the MLB Desert Invitational, and we open up with Arizona at 8 p.m. Friday night, and then game 2 we have Grand Canyon Saturday night at 8 p.m. and game 3 we play UC San Diego at 2 p.m. And some people may look at that on paper and say, "Oh, wow, I mean, that's a pretty easy schedule to open up the year." I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, they're decent programs, and I know Coach Vitello wants to play these programs because of the transfer portal. I mean, Chase Dolander came from Georgia State, and now he's our Friday night guy. Preseason All-American. I mean, everybody knows who he is. Everybody's going to be trying to get a hit off of him. I mean, he's just that dude. And the way he carries himself is just unbelievable. I mean, so much hype and anticipation to see him throw, and he's all about his teammates. He's wanting to lift his teammates up more than anything, and I think it says a lot about the guy, and that's what we need. Going down the list here, Now we'll get into this little stretch that I was talking about. And once we hit SEC play, so we open up on the road at Missouri. Then after Missouri, 4 weeks in a row, listen to this. We host Texas A&M. The following weekend, we're on the road at LSU. The weekend after that, we host Florida. And after Florida, we go on the road to Fayetteville to face Arkansas. I mean, that stretch right there that's gonna determine where we're at as a program. This first weekend is not gonna do it. There's gonna be 3 different lineups this weekend. We're gonna see everybody play, including the managers. I mean, Coach V, give me a jersey, baby. Let me get out there. But this weekend, we're going to find out what kind of players we have. We're not going to find out where we are as a program. And I wrote down some key players right here, but you know what? To be honest, everybody's a key player. We want to win the national championship, right? Everybody's going to play this weekend. Coach Vitello has shown it last year. He's going to play everybody that he can. And so we need everybody this year. Everybody's a key player. Let's look at overall record prediction about this season. I talked about, I believe we'll start off well, but once we hit SEC play, we might get tripped up, right? My expectations are still fairly high just based on talent. So this is what I believe our final record will be heading into Hoover. "47-9, baby." Yeah, how's that for expectations not being too high? Oh man. But if we don't hit if we're over 9 losses, I won't be disappointed. As long as we make the postseason. As long as we make the postseason, that is the only thing that matters. So before I wrap up here, I just want to mention one other series, round robin series that's going on this weekend in Arlington, Texas. And that's the college baseball showdown. And if you compare Tennessee's opening weekend to any of these teams' opening weekend, the tournament or the round robin in Texas seems to be a mid-season round robin. These are the teams: Vanderbilt, Texas, Arkansas, TCU, Oklahoma State, and Missouri. Now, 4 out of those 6 teams are in the top 15. Those programs, I wouldn't say are going to find out where they are, but they're definitely, I think, going to find out a lot more about where they can improve. Like I said, Tennessee is going to be subbing in guys in and out whenever they can, wherever they can. But that series, man, that little round robin is crazy. That is to open the year, man. So the final thing that I have for anybody that stuck around to the end, it's just a little trivia. I just want to have a little fun with you. And if you feel like it, just leave a comment down below. Also, if you could, just like the video, share it if you want. I'm just doing this for fun. But if you like the video, just give it a thumbs up. All right. So it's a little true-false trivia question, okay? All right, here we go. The question is, the official color of the Golden Gate Bridge in California is Tennessee orange. Is that question true or false? Just leave a comment down below. I appreciate anybody that stuck around to the end. And yeah, I look forward to hanging out with anybody that likes baseball, or especially Tennessee baseball, throughout this 2023 season. Peace.